He was found upside down, inside a rolled-up gym mat. Only his feet were visible. At first, it was called a tragic accident. But the more people looked into it, the less it made sense. Welcome to Where the Trail Ends, where we follow the story until it disappears. Kendrick Johnson was a 17-year-old student at Lowndes High School in Valdosta, Georgia. He was known as friendly, athletic, and well-liked by his peers. He played sports, stayed active, and by all accounts was just a normal teenager going about his daily life. On January 11th, 2013, Kendrick went to school like any other day. But when the school day ended, he never came home. At first, it may have seemed like a typical missing teenager situation. But what happened next would turn into one of the most controversial and debated cases in recent years. The following day, students entered the school gym and made a horrifying discovery. Kendrick's body had been found inside a large rolled-up wrestling mat. He was positioned upside down, head first, with his feet sticking out of the top. Authorities were called, and the scene quickly drew attention. How does something like this even happen? According to investigators, Kendrick had been reaching into the mat to retrieve a shoe. It was common for students to store their belongings inside the rolled mats in the gym. The theory was that he leaned in to grab it, slipped, and fell in headfirst. Once inside, they say he became trapped, unable to move, unable to call for help, and ultimately he died from positional asphyxia. An accident, a terrible, tragic accident. But almost immediately, people began to question that explanation. The position he was found in didn't sit right with many. The space inside the mat was extremely tight. His arms were pinned, his body wedged in a way that seemed difficult to enter, and even harder to imagine happening accidentally. And then came the surveillance footage. Or rather, the lack of it. The gym did have cameras, but the footage from that time period didn't show Kendrick entering the mat. Some cameras weren't recording. Others had missing gaps. For many, this raised serious concerns. How could something like this happen in a school with no clear footage of the moment? As the investigation continued, an autopsy was performed. The official ruling confirmed the cause of death as positional asphyxia, supporting the accident theory. But Kendrick's family wasn't convinced. They pushed for a second independent autopsy, and the results told a very different story. That examination suggested Kendrick had suffered blunt force trauma, a completely different cause of death. Now the case wasn't just confusing, it was divided. 2 autopsies, 2 conclusions, and no clear answers. As more details came out, public attention grew. Questions started piling up. Online discussions, theories, and accusations spread quickly. One of the most disturbing discoveries came during Kendrick's funeral. His family realized his internal organs were missing and had been replaced with newspaper. While this can be part of certain preservation processes, it added another layer of shock and suspicion for the family. Everything about the case began to feel off. There were also questions about the items found with him. One of his shoes was located inside the mat. The other was not. Investigators maintained that he had been trying to retrieve the shoe when he fell. But again, people questioned whether that explanation truly fit the scene. Over time, the case was reviewed multiple times. Authorities re-examined evidence. The case was even reopened at different points, but each time the official ruling remained the same. accidental death. No charges were filed. No suspects were named. Still, Kendrick Johnson's family has continued to fight for answers. They believe there is more to the story. That what happened inside that gym was not simply an accident. And years later, the case still sparks debate. Was this a tragic, unthinkable accident? Or was something else hidden inside that mat? A 17-year-old went to school and never came home. And the truth of what really happened that day may still be out there. Thank you for watching. This is Where the Trail Ends.